Okay. Hi, everybody. We are finally here.
Hello.
Anjanette with AJ's Personal Touch, and my guest today, Ms. Robbin from Roaming with Rover. And this is third time the charm, and we're going to make it work tonight. So, again, I am so sorry. I went to get everything set up. I was going to take a quick shower, and all of a sudden, my computer went completely down, needed a reboot. And it wasn't one of those quick ones, it was one of those, okay, we need like a half an hour. And it had exactly a half an hour to reboot. And of course, it took longer. So I hurried up and got my shower, and I came back, and it was just finally to go up. And after I called my dad because it was his birthday and it was still rebooting, and then I was like, okay, finally I got off the call and it said it was up, but then you have to wait for everything to come up and to get into everything. I have security measures that every single time it reboots, I have to open everything. So, I mean, it gives me great security, but it's a pain in the butt whenever you have to reboot. So, with all of that said, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to see everybody here. Again, I always try to be on time, but it's been one of those since I got up this morning. So, how are you today, Robin?
I am very good. Very good. It's been a busy day, but no issues. So that's good.
That's good. It's the issues that get us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning to my husband telling me I found them. We have been taking care of cats out. They're outdoor cats. We have, which are indoor cats. That you see, my little co-host from here and there, and who is down here crying at me. She's been trying to get my attention the whole time I was getting ready. But we had one we call Little Bit. She's a little black and white cat, and she got pregnant before we could have this organization come out and get her that we're going to be working with. We're going to have a community thing put outside for and get the feral cats, fixed.
Oh,
But
nice.
she wasn't feral. Her and we call him her brother because they came from the same place. People across the street left the cats behind. So they've been over here. People know the saga that, we went through with my daughter. She took the one and he did fine there. And then her cats decided they didn't like him. And after a couple days that they were fine. So she had to bring him back. Yes, Michelle, go ahead and press drop and it will drop your link. Anyway, the cat had kittens yesterday. We knew she must have because we couldn't find her. And my husband looked everywhere for this cat. Wakes up this morning, goes to feed the other one. Here she comes, zoom up on the porch, not pregnant anymore. She had them right underneath his bedroom window where I have a whole bunch of irises.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she was in the foliage and we just didn't see her in there.
So how many did you end up with? How many babies?
6.
Oh.
6 little babies. There's 2 tiger cats, 2 black and white ones like their mama, and then 2 it looks like they might be all black, but we can't tell yet. So yeah, so she's been out there being the good little mama, and if you get too close she'll growl and
Oh, yeah.
You're too close. We have pictures, but I didn't have a chance to get them up on the computer, so I'm not posting them on my Facebook page or anything right now because we don't want people who live close by possibly seeing them. And, there's too many haters around here.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't want them to see the pictures and then say, oh, well, the house down the street has kittens. Let's go take care of them.
Yeah.
Not happening on our watch.
Well, thank you, Frog. It's actually a sundress. It's a dress, big old long sundress. I had an appointment this afternoon, and I thought I'd better look presentable. So that was the close. This is the closest thing to a nice dress that I have.
You're fine. Both of us. I've got mine, but I had to put my top, and I've got a sundress on too. It's what I threw on real quick. So let me go through everybody here real quick. I don't want you to think I'm not paying attention to you. Let's go back to the beginning. Ambi is here. Hello, Ambi. Nana. Hi, Terry. That's Nana's name. Nana's Crochet Ideas. Michelle crochets in Kansas. Hello, Michelle. And it's great you're here from Kansas. I've always wanted to go out that way. Roseanne Alexander says, good evening, everyone. Hello. Kathy Belangia. Hello, Kathy. I hope you're doing well tonight. She says, hi, AJ and Robin and everyone. And Frog, Charity says, hi, you all. AJ and Robin. I'm slowly getting your names. Slowly. And it looks like that is everybody. So I know you were here once for and answered this for me, but it's what I usually always ask everybody. But how did you get your name and how did you get started? Just in case anybody shows up who didn't see the first one.
Sure. And thank you again for inviting me back. It has been a comedy of errors with us trying to get us together. But
yes.
How did I get my name? Okay. When we first started our channel, we had sold our house and bought an RV and decided to travel the country.
Mm-hmm.
And a month or two in, I was going to do a blog of just kind of our travels. And I thought that'd be a way to keep up with everybody. And come to find out, blogs are not easy to do. I need to change my glasses. That's the problem. That's why I don't know if this will work. I need these glasses to crochet and these clothes. That's better. Now I can see. I can't see the screen with my prescription glasses. I need readers for the screen. So I was going to do a blog, and it took me days and days and days to figure out this blog. And it was like two solid days, so probably 20 hours to post one picture because I couldn't figure out how to do it. And of course, the help pages didn't help me any. And so I gave up on the blog. And then one of the grands, who was probably 8 or 9 at the time, says, look, Grandma, I did a YouTube channel. And I'm like, what? What's a YouTube channel? And he's showing me this thing. And I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it.
Exactly.
And so that's how I got started on YouTube, because the kid did a YouTube channel in minutes. And so I figured it out. And
leave it to the kids.
Leave it to the kids. And we wanted a name that gave you the idea of what the channel was about. And so it was a travel channel. It was about RVing the country with dogs. So somehow I wanted to incorporate dogs into it, but not a specific dog, just the idea of traveling with dogs. Because, the pets, they kind of come and go. They don't always stay the same.
Right.
And so Rover is kind of a generic dog name. And so that's how we came up with Roaming with Rover.
Awesome. I love that. I love it every time I hear it because I have, like I said, you said it for me before, but I've heard you say it. But I believe either on your own channel or on a live with somebody else as well. So I have been following you for a little while.
Thank you.
Now, if I will tell you, and I don't know if she's still here or if she had to leave, but if Nana's crochet ideas is here, she's been telling us that she wants to get an RV and start driving around. So I told her, I said, you need to talk to Robbin.
She needs to watch my old videos.
I'm like,
it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of work, and it is very expensive. This is not a cheap way to live. Probably cost us more. In fact, it did. It absolutely cost us more to RV than it ever did to have a house. And hey, Nana.
That's good to know, especially with how prices and everything are right now.
Well, and so many of the things that happen, you have no control over. And you also have to think, okay, so we have a Class A. So that's the one that looks like a bus, like think an old Winnebago. And so when something happens, it's not just your vehicle, it's your house.
Right.
So not only is your car broke down, you don't have a place to live. And every repair shop wants you to leave it in their shop for the 2 or 3 or 10 weeks till they get the parts. They don't want you to be off living on it while they're waiting for parts to come in. So that's always a problem.
Right. And plus with COVID on top of that, it takes even longer to get the parts now and everything.
And as a for instance, now last was it September when the AC went out?
Yeah.
About last September. Now we're in Texas, and in September it's still 100 degrees in Texas. And our motor went out, our main heat AC unit went out, completely had to be replaced. Couldn't get anybody to come out and work on it. Had to find a shop 150 miles away from where we were, but we're on our job site, so we can't just leave. And so we went, and they don't have any of this part. None anywhere in the United States. It has to be manufactured for us. That's going to be quick. So we went from September through March with no AC and no furnace.
That's heat.
Right. Yeah. So no heat, no AC. And when we finally did find the place that would work on it, we were very lucky because we went in there, he confirmed the part we needed, ordered it from the factory. We had to pay cash up front, $5,000, and hope it got there before we had to leave because we had no control over how long it was going to be. And we had no idea how long we were going to stay because we're working on a contract and the contract could end whenever. We lucked out because it came, what was it, a month? Maybe a month. I was shocked when we got the phone call. And so we talked to our boss, got permission to leave for the day and drove it over there. And they got that thing installed in one day. One repair took from September to March, and total cost out of pocket was about $7,500.
Wow.
One repair. And there's something like that at least once a year.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I told her to get with you. So that if she wants to know the good and the bad, that you would be able to tell her everything.
Yeah. So. And this is the good RV. This is the one we don't have many problems with.
Oh, I couldn't imagine the other one.
It was ugly.
Let's go back and see what else I missed. Ambi, thank you. She asked everybody what's in your cup and on your hook for me. I have tea in my cup. And I'm working on a baby blanket that I've worked on many times on here because my tester crochet got finished, but mine didn't really get finished. It was too big. And the designer, she's been fine with me, especially since I have tech editing skills. I ran some numbers for her. And so it's coming out this Friday. She's got things changed in it. It should be fine now, but I'm going to frog it because it's a shirt that I love, and I'm going to redo it. But since I have a sample crochet that I'm starting, she knows I have to do it like in between. So, because I can't just crochet on just one thing, especially if it's big, I have got to put it down. And I have till September 10th to finish my sample crochet. So I'll be able to go back and forth. But this one I've been working on for a while and is so close to being done. I just have one more big part on the edging to do. Another border, which is what takes the longest, is this twist border. And then I think one more row of the gray and then I'm done. So I figured I'll work on this for a while. And when I do lives, I can sit here and chat and crochet. And before I know it, I have 1 or 2 rows done.
Oh, that's so good. I can't crochet. Well, you've seen mine. I can't do it. I can't crochet while I'm doing my lives. So I'm taking notes and I'm asking, I've got my script and so I'm not coordinated enough to do that many things. I feel relaxed enough here with you today to actually work on something. That's very unusual for me.
Well, I'm glad you feel relaxed with me. I tend to take things off the cuff. I ask some of the same questions and then we just basically chat. So, and whatever comes up and whatever questions may come, from the people in the audience. So, Ambi says, pretty sundress, Robbin.
Thank you.
And Michelle says, I have raspberry iced tea and a summer top on my hook. Awesome. Kathy Belangia says, flavored water and my cast is off. Yay.
Woo-hoo!
Blanket for my granddaughter on hook. Yes. And you're crocheting. Yes. Yes. I know you've been waiting for that.
Mm-hmm.
Abby says, glad you got the cast off. And Kathy says, thanks. And I do believe if anybody needs a mod, I'm not looking at this from YouTube side. I believe Ambi is a moderator. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ambi. I know I have
Yes, she is.
a couple of them.
She's got
So
a blue wrench.
yes, she can help you out if anybody needs help. Nightbot is on, and I did a live the other day thinking it was on, and it wasn't. I turned it on like halfway through. I was like, oh, no wonder why. It was sending up some things, though, even when it was off, but it wasn't sending all the things that I had set for that actual live. So it is on. I made sure while I was waiting for everything else to come on that got turned on. Come on, baby.
It's funny you say that because, I've been struggling because I am technologically challenged. And I keep saying, I've got Nightbot set up to do the drop. We went through Crystal, Crazy Cat Lady, FaceTime me, and we went through it step by step, and it still would not work. Yesterday I did my live. I did my live with Melissa. Melissa loves crochet. And she goes, well, did you turn Nightbot on? And I'm like, do what? I didn't know I was supposed to do that.
Yes.
Apparently.
I had thought at first on the live that we were doing, we didn't have many people in. I think people were just busy. It was a nice summer day. So I thought the chat wasn't moving, enough because it's so many lines before it will drop anything.
Right.
But the drop is set like on one of the smallest settings on mine. And, people were putting the words drop in and it was dropping them, but the command and stuff from Nightbot wasn't coming. So like, I've got, please check out your channel just came up, and those things weren't coming up. And I was like going, why is this not working? And then I realized, oh, I had to reboot and I never officially turned it back on. So a couple things were working, but not everything. So yeah, I get you.
Well, now I have no clue how to turn it on. So it seems like after every single live, my guest teaches me how to do something. So slowly but surely, I'm getting this stuff figured out.
Well, like I told you, I will help you sometime if you need help with anything.
I absolutely do. I'm like, I don't understand why this isn't working. We copied the link, because the verbiage has to be exactly right. And I'm like, we copied it, and I don't know why it's not working. And apparently got to turn it on.
I've gotten help from plenty of people, so I do not mind helping people when they need it too. So let's see. Gail Southern Living says, hello, ladies. Hello, Gail. Come on in. Sorry, I have to correct my cat. She's chewing on some plastic.
Uh-oh.
Come on, move, baby. Yeah, we can't get her to stop. I try to move everything over to this corner, but when Mom is distracted, she goes over there.
Know.
It's time for me to go get what I'm not supposed to have. It's like, no, you're not supposed to do that anytime. So Sherry Eccles says, hello, everybody. And then Ambi's welcoming everybody in. Thank you so much, Ambi. I also wanted to tell you thank you. I know that you've been shouting out my channel this last week. I actually had somebody message me and let me know that you were shouting me out. So
good.
Thank you very much for that.
I just feel so bad. I've been telling people, you have to come and listen. You have to help me redeem myself.
Oh, you don't need to redeem yourself. Things happen. It's just life. As I always say, life happens. And you never know when it's going to happen. So like, I have to say, I was afraid that I might not be able to be here tonight. And I was just going, no. It just, no, that can't happen. So, unfortunately, we had friends visit last weekend from New Orleans. When they got home, the youngest has COVID, and I've been around them, so I've been exposed, and I feel like my body's trying to get sick,
Mm-hmm.
but right now it's fighting it off. So I don't know if maybe I feel like you did when your husband was first sick and you thought you were going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting it to drop any day.
Yeah.
But I might stay okay. So here's the hoping.
Crossed. Yeah.
Um, I used to be really, really scared because from people who watch my channel know I'm HIV positive. So at first, when it first came out, my doctor was like, if you get it, you're probably not coming home.
Mm-hmm.
But that was before all of the vaccines and everything.
Right.
So I've had my vaccines. I'm doing really well. Health wise, I've been doing pretty decent. It's just having to watch out for my chronic pancreatitis that I have. That doesn't treat me so well.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm doing great right now. So
Good.
I'm not as worried about it. And if it happens, I'm not as scared of what might happen. I think I'm just going to get really sick. And I dealt with that last year. My husband and I both got the flu last August at a time when you don't get the flu. And we thought it was COVID, but it wasn't. We got checked out. So yeah, I was like, no, this can't happen. It can't happen today. Robbin's coming. We're getting, I was like, I'm not allowing this to happen. It just
refuse.
And I was like, and if I'm sick, I will be there on my deathbed, if I have to. So, but anyway, yes, I'm glad that I'm here and that it all worked out.
Yeah.
Let me see. What other questions have I been asking lately? I haven't looked at your channel now in a couple days.
I'm putting thing up in a couple of days, so
yeah.
I'm behind. I need to do the video it's time to do the drawing. Oh, I guess that's tomorrow. We do the drawing for the Christmas in July fairies.
Okay.
That's tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. I guess we got a couple of days to do that. I've got a video out, and I should look at the name. I was stumbling all over the place. See, I don't even know the name of my own videos. Looking at this one, and it's about things that people don't usually like to do. Unpopular crochet opinions. So basically, it's unpopular crochet opinions. And the picture is me holding up some funky blue yarn. The premise is something that you like to do with crochet that most people do not.
Right.
And the one that always comes to mind is yarn barf, untangling the yarn barf.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, the first time I saw it, Dana, Wonderlust Crochet, had tagged me in this. So I've got to finish that and then tag someone. So don't be surprised.
Oh, it won't be. And actually, I have things that there's quite a few things that I do. Like with the yarn barf, I don't get as up, depending on what I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get as upset as other people do because I get very relaxed when I untangle it.
And that's what people say. It's actually relaxing and it's calming and it's a nice break from the actual pattern.
Right. But when it gets you when you're in a hurry and
you're in a hurry, or you've done it time after time after time with this, certain kind of yarn that's just miserable to work with. So that's the thing. And when I first saw her do it, I thought it was supposed to be sarcastic, but it isn't. It's things that you actually enjoy doing that most people do not enjoy doing.
Okay, well, cool. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so you put your answer in there, and then I'll do the follow-up this weekend. I'll do the follow-up video and read through the answers and talk about how people have answered it, and then I'll tag someone else to do it. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to ask you was, it's okay. It's fine. I'm glad that you told us about those. Is what are your normal videos that you do? Like, what are your
my schedule
every week? Yeah, your schedule.
Okay.
Stuff.
Well, I'm off my schedule. So
that's fine. I don't have a schedule. So
before I moved home, my schedule was on Mondays, it would be Robbin's Ramblings. And I literally just sat and talked about what was going on. Mm-hmm. And then Friday was Finish It Friday. and we would talk about where I was on every project. And I had a schedule for every project, and I had one project scheduled for each day of the week. So
I remember that.
yeah, Monday I worked on my crocheted stripe blanket. Tuesday was my Christmas blanket. And then one day of the week, which was Thursday, I had to work on something that had been put in timeout or was an old whip. And that's where Finish It Friday came from. And then I would work on it every Friday was the day to work on that project, no matter what else was going on. And that was how I finished my temperature blanket. I would not have gotten it finished. It would have just sat in the drawer with a bunch of blocks. And I really liked the idea. And I stole that from a lady, and I can't remember her name. She's a really cool knitting. She's got a knitting channel, and she does Finish It February. And she takes the whole month of February to work on her whips. And I knew that wouldn't work for me. And so that's why I liked the Finish It Friday. Well, since we've gotten
sorry, next year I may have to revamp and take that one from you.
Yeah, I love it. I really like the idea. No matter what I'm working on, Friday is to work on stuff that's been set aside. And it's cool to see the progress each week and see finishing things that you haven't touched for 6 months or a year.
Right.
But then when we got home and then we got sick and we were moving and blah, 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 and everything just went to pieces with my schedule. And even Mr. said the other day, you haven't done a Finish It Friday. And I'm like, I haven't worked on anything. I hardly crochet at all right now. I'm lucky if I get an hour a day in. And so I'm not, and the other strange thing is I have started working on one project at a time instead of 6 or 8 or 10. And part of it is the COVID brain. I have a hard time concentrating now where I could work on 8 different things at once. And I'm finding right now that that's kind of hard for me to do. And so in fact, let's see if I can reach it without tearing everything over. I finished this the other day, and it's a Christmas present. And then I was showing it off, and somebody says, "Oh, you got a couple strings." So apparently, I still have 2 strings to.
It's gorgeous.
I love it, and it's a Darla from the Crafty Owl. Is that what she's called? Darla Crochet Crafty Owl or Darla?
Yeah,
something Crafty Owl.
There's so many people that I still don't watch, and
I know, but I love her.
Sick and in bed and not crocheting and looking for stuff is when I found the channels and I would sit and watch them. But once I got started crocheting and then started my own channel, I'm lucky to watch a couple people on a regular basis.
Right. So as of right now, the only thing that I have scheduled and it's in concrete is Monday night is bingo, Monday fun day, 5 o'clock Pacific is bingo. And you go in and you'll see on my channel, it's an old lady says, "Out of my way, I'm going to bingo." That's where you go in and pick your numbers for July. And then every Monday we're playing bingo. And we've been getting in three games, and there's prizes for every game. And so people are loving the bingo, and I'm having a great fun. And for me, it's very laid back and relaxing, and I can laugh and talk and chat and be myself. And oh yeah, we're playing bingo. I got to remember to pull a number. And
I thought I was gonna catch you this last Monday, but I didn't because it said, you know how sometimes YouTube leaves it on that you're live and you're not. It's already closed.
It's already
I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna catch her, and I got it, and I saw that you did it with Amber, and I was like, oh great, they're both together. I can, it'll be funny, but then I never.
It was. We laughed so much.
We
laughed so much. So that was the funniest thing. She contacted me one day and she goes, "Have you ever thought of having a sponsor for your bingo?" I'm like, "What do you mean a sponsor?" She goes, "Well, somebody to provide prizes." Well, no, I hadn't, but sure. And so she asked if she could sponsor it. And I'm like, absolutely. So she jumped on there and we just had a blast together and had a really good time playing bingo. And I didn't even have to come up with the prizes. I still think
she's amazing. I love watching her. She was so funny.
So funny.
And like one of the last ones I watched, she said something about, she has things to give away, but nobody wants them. She's got donations, So she's thinking of, like maybe starting to sell them and stuff, but then I reminded her, I said, I'm taking donations. And she was like, okay, get a hold of me. So I need to do that.
Mhm.
So
Yep. And then of course the other thing is the Tuesday morning interviews. And this week it happened to be Wednesday morning because I'm really just like you are, I'm real conscientious of my guest schedules. And
mhm.
so, but typically they're Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock Pacific.
Okay.
And so that's right now, that's the two things that I'm absolutely getting in every week. And I will get back to finish it Friday at some point.
Well, you will, and people will love it just as much as they did before. And that's one that I tried to watch religiously. If I couldn't watch anything else, I knew if I watched that you would talk about what you were doing during the week, and I could catch up on what what you
Mhm.
were doing, where you were, everything that was going on.
Yeah.
So let me see. Ambi says she's back. Kathy says there's really nothing I don't like about crochet. And she said, it's really pretty, your Afghan, Robbin.
Thank you.
And Ambi says the Christmas gift is pretty. And Debbie says, I just joined your channel, AJ. I saw Robin's live yesterday. Hi to you both. Thank you very much. I do recognize your name. I haven't been through all of my emails that I've gotten to do with my channel here lately, but I did see that you joined. So thank you so much. And I will be going through, and when I do that, I do join everybody who subscribes to me. I subscribe to you, whether you have a channel or not. And some people ask me, well, why do you do that? I do that because when YouTube took away community tabs from everybody, because at one time we all had, it wasn't called community, it was just a chat tab that they had.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they took it away from everybody when they decided to do the community tab and make you work for it.
Yeah. So you have to have 500 subscribers to get your community tab.
Right. And it was 1,000 for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It used to be you couldn't get it until you had enough to, I don't know if you had to have your watch hours in, but it was 1,000, but they brought it down to 500 because too many people were complaining.
That's a lot. I mean, it's hard to get 1,000.
That's
really
the reason why I have my Facebook group, because I'm not at 500 yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very grateful I was able to get in touch with you. I'm really glad you gave me your number so I could text you.
Oh, I am too.
So I could get a hold of you to say, hey, my computer, decided to do a whole reboot on me, and I had nothing. It was one of those, you can't do anything. You're in the middle of doing something and poof, it takes you off. And I was just like, no, not now. Not now. It's like, not when this is our third time. So
absolutely,
I was only a little late. So welcome in Melfina's Magic, who is also known as Donna. She's one of my good friends. Hi there. Something I'll mention really quick for those of you who are just joining my channel, who have not been here but have joined thanks to Miss Robbin, is in my group. If you join my group, I have crochet alongs where we get on video chat and we just all sit and crochet and chat, and it's just so nice, and you get to know people. Mm-hmm. I met Donna maybe 2 months ago, and her and I are like the best of friends now.
Oh, nice.
So I've gotten to know Ambi really great in there, and Kaylin from Kay's Crochet Haven, which she might be lurking in here. She likes to lurk. So while she's doing things and she can't actually type in. So if you're here, welcome. And then also on every other Wednesday, Kaylin, Ambi, and I have our group live that we do now, which is called AKA Crafting Chats. So, and we just jump from between our 3 channels every other week. So get my little shameless plug in there real quick.
Absolutely. That's what we got to do. Just so you know, I am a stone's throw away from having my hours. And so...
Oh, you haven't gotten your hours yet?
No. It's so funny. When Amber and I did that race to 1,000 subs, And we got there so fast. It shocked both of us. We did it within 3 days. We went from
Right.
830 to 1,000, both of us in 3 days. And we both hit the
Right.
1,000 within minutes of each other. But we'll always remember that I was there first.
Yes, you were there
But
first.
I was the first, but she already had her watch hours. So
Right.
she got monetized right away. And at that point, I had about 1,000 watch hours. I just had nothing. And that was Mother's Day. And now I'm at about 3,500. So I'm anticipating within a couple, 3 weeks.
And
I'll
how many is it that you have to have?
gotta have 4,000.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking that was 1,000 too, but I guess not.
No,
I wish I would have known, because when I know that people need their watch hours, I will turn them on, and whether I'm watching it or not, I will let it go on the TV while I'm on the computer, or if I'm watching TV, I'll let it go on the computer. So I will start watching you and
Thank
trying
you.
to
I appreciate
your
that.
hours in.
Well, and I do appreciate that a great deal. But what I was going to say is, when it happens, we're having a party. We're going to have a big blowout party. And I've got a whole box of prizes in the other room. We're going to have so many giveaways, and it's going to be such a celebration. So, and maybe I'll even figure out how to have Nightbot running by then.
You and I will have to talk. We can talk on the phone and be live at the same time.
Yes.
If you use, like, I use a laptop. So if you have a laptop, we can talk on the phone, be live at the same time, and figure it out. We'll get your Nightbot up and running.
Yes, that would be nice.
I only do the minimum, but it's enough. So
yeah. All I really want is to be able to drop people's names. I don't even know what else Nightbot does.
Yeah, it can be your moderator for you. I have it set up to moderate when nobody else is in.
Oh, that's nice.
But you have to set settings, which I can show you how to do that. You can set up, like I have it set up, that it's dropping my channel every so often, and it's dropping yours every so often.
That would be nice. That would be very nice.
And it's nice because you can enable and disable. So, like, I can keep on the list where you do that. I can keep Ambi's on there and Kaylin's on there, so that then when it's my night to do our lives, I can disable, whoever had been on my live before, and then enable theirs. I just recently started delete off some, because I had like everybody that I had ever had on, and I was like, okay, I may have them on again, but I'll just put the list on again later. So I just don't like when things get way too long.
Right, get too busy. And then there's more chance of a problem, it seems like, when that happens.
Donna says, hi, AJ, Robbin, and everyone else here. I'm in Middletown, Delaware, crocheting on a blanket and drinking my ice cold water.
Good for you.
She says, Robbin, I'll go on later and get caught up on your videos.
Thank you.
I know that you need help with watch hours too. So Debbie says, Robbin, I'll run your playlist. And something that helps too, if you don't have it done, is if you can make a playlist. Like, I started this in hopes of someday reaching 1,000 subscribers. So it wouldn't be so hard to do then. But I have one that just lists all of my videos, so that when hopefully somebody will help me get watch hours, they can just start running through without that pesky somebody else's video popping in there.
Right.
You're trying to stay on one person.
I know. Yeah, I've got a playlist.
Drives me nuts more than anything. Is when I'm trying to get caught up with somebody and watch them, and then it throws in
somebody else's is in
other
there.
people, and it's like, I'm trying her first, then I'll go to I'm very methodical on how I do things. But I didn't mean, go ahead. I didn't mean to keep.
Oh, no. I was just saying, I've got a playlist for everything. And then I think I've got a separate playlist for lives. And I have like one for unboxings, and I have one for RV stuff, and I have one for the gate guarding stuff. And you guys might actually be interested. Those of you who haven't seen some of those older ones, you might be actually interested in not only just letting them play, but even watching them. It's an interesting thing, the gate guarding is, and most people have never heard of it. So, and there's not too many.
Look at that. See, what I like to do is, like, when I'm feeling good and I can actually get some cleaning done, I like to pull it up on the TV. So it's not like I'm not paying attention to it. I'm listening. I'm just not watching. But every once in a while, I'll hear, people describing what they're showing, and I'm like, have to run out of the kitchen and see what you guys are showing, and then go back to the kitchen and get back to doing whatever it was I was doing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, so I do have several playlists in there and somebody had suggested that I do one about all my videos. And
yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think I'm even a little bit behind in setting things on the playlist. I don't know. There's lots of playlists to find.
Yeah, but that's the one I was talking about. Is I started an everything one where it has all of my videos, and that was pretty hard for me at the time that I did it, and I wasn't, even at 100 videos yet, which I'm at 100, but I haven't officially done my number 100 because I've started, I just started my sample crochet one, so I didn't put that in my numbering system because I figure it's not a regular episode.
Right.
But my regular episodes I number. So I'm at number 99.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on my regular ones. So I know I've had 100 videos. I just not 100 regular videos.
I don't even know how many I have. And then it started, once in a while you'll pull it up and it'll tell you how many videos this person has, but it counts the shorts. And I'm like, no, those don't count.
Right.
Because I've got probably a dozen shorts, and some of those were some cool things from the gate guarding too, where you've got these ginormous cranes doing stuff and just some his snake pictures are in there, his snake videos in there. It was funny because his little snake, bye drive careful. Everybody say goodbye to Morgan, she's going to work.
Bye.
She's our moderator for Monday Night Bingo. She keeps me in line. She keeps track of everybody's numbers and who has signed in and who hasn't. And it's a lot of work. There's a lot of background work for the bingo that we couldn't function if she wasn't doing that for me.
Oh, I can imagine. I'm an admin on another page on Facebook, and it's where I take donations for, but it's for American Pain and Disability Association. But it's a blessings page where people can come on, and it's a happy page. People can send out blessings to people if they want to, or and we play games. I'm in charge of this right now, Secret Santa in July. And it's a lot of work. People don't realize.
Keeping track of all that stuff. Yeah. And then with the
How
bingo, people want to change their numbers, or they want to reasonably, did you get my numbers? Did you get my numbers? So then we end up checking everybody to make sure we have their numbers. And last week, oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. Again, technology. 3 or 4 people were like, I put my numbers in. And they went in and checked, and they're there. They're in the thing. And I'm like, it's not there. Just give me your numbers now. Well, after the fact, when we got off that night, I found out YouTube had put them for review. And I had at least 20 people's numbers that they had marked their comments as for review for no reason. I mean, why are theirs any different from the other 100 that were in the list? So
because they just felt like it.
And one of them was my daughter, and she's like, I put my numbers in. It's not here. And so
she's like, I know what to do, Mom.
I the one that told you how to do this stuff. And so I've got to go through and add those numbers to our book and apologize to everybody next week. And before the thing starts, I have to check and see if but see, I do most of this on my cell phone, and you can't see that kind of stuff. You have to be on a computer to see that kind of stuff. And it's the only time I get on my computer is to do the lives. So now I know I have to go in and check that beforehand.
Yeah, that's one reason why I do almost everything on my computer right now, because, and I learned that a long time ago, that there's so many things you cannot see from your phone. When I was doing direct sales, there's so many things that couldn't see from your phone that you can when you're on the computer. So I just, that's how I do things. I learned to do that, and I get all the time, well, you can do this on your phone. You can do that on your phone. I'm like, I'll stick to my computer. I'm fine.
The other thing that I found very unusual is my tablet, and I've got an Apple tablet. You can't see the community page on the tablet.
That's not surprising to me because tablets are run just like phones are.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's certain things that you can't see on your phone, you can't see it on a tablet either.
But I can see the community page on my phone, just not on my tablet.
Well, there's also glitchy things too. So
yeah, I find that very odd because there's been a few times I've gone to post something in there. It's like community page is not. Okay. Because I like the tablet because I can see it a little bit better.
Well, that's just like everybody who goes to my room to go into the video room after I've done it. And I just realized this yesterday. So for everybody who's told me you can't find it, like Donna, I'm sorry. But I just say, go to the tab that says room. And when I'm on my phone and it's there on the laptop, it's got it listed on, the tabs that go across, like normally pictures, this and that. And it says like the second tab over after discussion says room. And it's where you go to set up the room. Well, on the phone, it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And I still need to figure out exactly where it is because I know you can open up the room from a phone, but I can't find it on mine anywhere. So I'm like, okay, so for everybody who told me that you had a really hard time, I'm so sorry, but it posted in the discussion too. So it's just amazing. It's like they just want us to scramble all the time because as soon as you learn everything and you get it down pat, Facebook has to go and change everything and redo everything. Yep. So I've learned a long time ago not to get too confident that I know how things are set up on Facebook because as soon as you do, it's time for them to redesign it, reset it up. And then for people who don't even do as much as we do, who are just on there to chat, they don't understand that. They're like, why is my feed look different? Why is this different?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because they're messing with us again.
Mm-hmm. Well, bye, Debbie. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yes. Bye, Debbie. Have a great day. And thank you for joining my channel. Ambi, it looks like she left again and she's back again. She said safe travels to work and back for Morgan. A couple of people, Kathy had said bye to Morgan. Sorry, guys, that I'm a little behind on the chat. Ambi, I had also said earlier, congratulations on almost being monetized.
I know. So, I can't believe it.
That's my hard thing when I'm here, and crocheting and chatting with somebody. Some days I can read the chat and have no issues, but other days like today, because I'm not feeling like 100%,
mm-hmm.
I get into everything else, or I just get so into the chatting. It's like, oh, wait, I need to go talk,
mm-hmm.
read everything. And then it's funny when I have people on, like Amber, for instance, she was so good at reading the chat. And it's like, sometimes you forget you're not on your own channel.
Mm-hmm.
You start reading, the chat, and it's like, okay. I'm like, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't care,
She's great at multitasking.
Oh, yes.
She's fun. She's a hoot. That girl is a ball of fire.
I think when my daughter was younger, I was a lot better at multitasking because you have to, when you have kids, you have to be. So, trying to think of what else. I love I love all the different kits and things that you get.
Wait till you see the giveaways. They are so cool. And I'll let you guys know, because not everybody that watches these things are yarny people. Most are, but not everybody. And so I made sure and got some things that were other stuff, not just yarny type things. So, and sometimes a lot of people on here, they do every craft imaginable. Oh, I've got to find a cross stitch kit to put in there. I have to dig through my stuff. I got some beautiful ones in there. And I'm going to try to pick up, if I can get a hold of what I'm looking for, I'm going to try and get a diamond painting and put in there also.
Okay. I heard those take forever. So.
Not necessarily. It takes longer than crochet, but not nearly as long as if you cross stitch. It's much faster.
I have not cross stitched in years, but I loved it when I did it.
Too.
I miss it. I actually found, you know how they have the jigsaw puzzle apps?
Mm-hmm.
They have a cross stitch app where it's kind of like like a paint by number
Mm-hmm.
or a color by number, but when you click on the little things, you get the cross. It's the cross
Oh,
stitch.
pretty.
So when the picture is done, it looks like a cross stitch picture. It's
Oh,
really
very
pretty.
cool. Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me when I first started. I tried to go like the direction of how you would cross stitch and everything. But and that's funny that you said that, because my husband and I were sitting here chatting last night, and I was going through. Actually, it was might have been earlier today. Hirschner's has. I got an email today. They're like their Christmas yarns
Yep.
are on sale. I love Hirschner's. I am a.
I know. And I'm trying not to even open the ads.
Well, I'll tell you this. As far as this sale is concerned, I don't really consider it a quote sale, because things are only like the most is $1 off,
I know.
which sometimes that's a good sale, but sometimes that's just not.
I've noticed that a lot lately. The sales are like 50 cents or $1 off on stuff. Look at this giant ball of yarn. And I don't even know where I got it from,
Uh-huh.
but it's huge.
I have a couple, not that brand, but I have a couple giant Bernat ones that I got at Ollie's for $5.99.
Yeah, we don't have an Ollie's. And it's a 12-ounce ball, 612 yards. And I remember it came in a box. I ordered it from somewhere because it was here at the house when I got home, and I have 6 of them. So it must have been a really good price, and I didn't realize how big they were. So I'm making a Cocoon sweater. I just started it literally right before the show, and I thought I'll probably get the whole sweater out of this one ball. But yeah, the diamond painting it's kind of, Kathy, do you find that it's kind of mindless? It's like something there you don't have to really concentrate on. I do like it. I like it a lot. But you've got to have space to spread it out, because your thing has to lay flat, and you got to have room for your little, I think they call them drills, the little crystally things you're putting in there.
And if you have cats that like to walk all over everything and knock things down, it's probably not very conducive for you.
Exactly. In fact, when I did mine, that's when we were working at the lake in Flower Mound, Texas. And we would go into this little, it was an office, and we would gate guard. We were checking cars in and out.
Right.
Well, sometimes we'd go hours before anybody would come in. And so I could lay that thing out and work on it. And then I had a place where I could roll it up and stick it in my drawer. And one of the other gals, come to find out, she was working on one too. Did the same thing, rolled it up and stuck it in her drawer at the end of the night. So we were both working on them. And then mine was a hummingbird. And it's not very big. So probably 9x9 maybe.
Okay.
And when I was done, we hung it up in the window of the motorhome. So we had a pretty hummingbird picture.
Cool. My grandma loved hummingbirds.
Yeah.
When I see them, hummingbirds and butterflies, if I see them outside, I'm like, okay, she's saying hello for the day.
Oh, that's nice.
But when I was going through everything and I was looking at the Christmas kits, it reminded me back when my husband and I when we were first together, within the first couple of years, I was doing like plastic canvas and making Christmas gifts. And he sat there and he was like, well, I can learn how to do, because I was getting behind. I think that's how he got started with me. He's like, I could help you do that. He said, if you teach me. And I taught him how, and we would sit there together and watch TV and do plastic canvas together. And it was really, really nice. And it was nice to do together. And, so I asked him, I said, well, if I got some again, do you think that you would be interested? And he's like, well, I honestly don't know right now, if I could. He's been having some issues too with some disc issues, so it makes things, some things harder. Yeah. But he said, why? Maybe you can teach that on your channel, because he sits here quietly and he listens when I do lives, and when I have my meetings, with Ambi and Kaylin for what we want to talk about on AKA, because we're trying to do all crafts and not just
right.
not just the Yarny crafts. And he's like, well, why don't you teach that on there? And I was like, I have a big bin, but we also had out in the garage, but we also had a tree that came through the top. So we don't know. I was too disabled to go out there and help, and he was working so much. We had to have a company come in and clean it out and everything. And some of the stuff that should have come back did not make it back.
Yeah.
So I don't know if my craft bin is still out there or not. So I need to go out there and check. And I told him, I said, I'd love to do things like that, but right now I need to build up some, save some money and things to get the different kits, because they're not cheap.
No.
So, but if I find that people would like me to do that, I'm like, sure, I can go on, and teach that. The only reason why I don't do tutorials right now is because I really don't have a place set up, and I don't have a tutorial arm to be able to tape with.
I would be very interested in watching something on the plastic canvas. I actually bought a kit, a small one. I think it's coasters, and I'm like, I can't remember. I'm not sure I've ever done one, but I'm wondering, how do you handle the edges and how? Because I know they're rough. Do you cut them? Do you trim them? I don't know. I would be very interested in seeing a presentation on working with the plastic.
Well, that's good to know. And I'll have to see, because one thing we had a craft store that went out of business, and I bought a ton because plastic canvas was so expensive. I just bought a ton of it because she was selling them like 10 cents a sheet. So
wow.
I was like, okay, and at the time I was working and I had money, and it was like, okay, give me this and this. And, let me see. I've missed quite a bit here in chat. You had seen Kathy had said, I love diamond painting. I started with ones for kids. I'm a little more advanced now. I missed back farther. Let me see. Debbie said goodbye. Amy said she took the trash to the road. Now she's doing dishes. She said had 3 bowls stacked up on a plate and was putting it in the dishwasher and dropped the bowls and got soap suds all over the place. Oh, no. Oh, dishwater, not dishwasher. I was like, okay. She said, awesome yarn for when you're showing your yarn. Now, the balls that I got, I went ahead and bought. Mine are gray, and then I got one black one because I'm making some blankets with squares, and I'm like, at least I can use them to put everything together. Samantha Stewart came in. She said, hi, AJ. Hi, Samantha. How are you doing today? Kathy no, that's where she said she started with the kids. Amby says, I still need to go there and look for yarn. I keep forgetting to Hirschner's. She wants to make a granny square cocoon cardigan. The reason why I went looking is I want to get some of their Christmas cotton, and they're the only place that I know that has all the different Christmas cotton colors. But
Ollie's does?
No, not Hirschner's.
Hirschner's, yes. I bought, and I got 2 of them, and I believe it was Hirschner's. It was a Christmas variety pack, and it had everything from DMC, threads, the 3-weight yarn, the bigger yarn. It had, and I want to say it had 6 or 8 in each one of them. And I got 2, and couldn't have been more than $10 or $12. I wouldn't have paid more than that.
I don't know. Maybe it could have been there, Mary Maxim, but I have not seen that recently. But I'm just meaning in their cotton that they have 5-ounce balls of their own cotton, which I love their cotton yarn.
Yeah.
And they have, for the Christmas cotton, you can get them in 5-ounce balls. I don't know if you can get their regular. Those are in the smaller ones. Their normal cotton.
Is it kitchen cotton or like
their kitchen cotton?
Oh, okay.
And I love it, but it's softer. So I don't know, because I know there's some people who make wearables out of sugar and cream, and I can't imagine having
that would be awful.
But I don't know. Once you wash it up too, and I know with like the different washcloths I've made, some of them get nice and soft.
Yeah, they get pretty soft, but still not wearable soft.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I've made dish towels out of it, and they're very nice.
I'm just thinking maybe if you get the right stitch and the right way.
Maybe.
I made my mom a spa set but this was out of the Hirschners. I'd gotten a big spool, and I made her a spa set, and I used Tunisian crochet, and I think it was the simple stitch, and I couldn't believe how soft everything came out compared to everything else I had made with it.
Well, and to be honest, the different colors. I've used the natural one, and it tore my hands up. And then I've used other ones that were different colors, and they were absolutely fine to work with.
Sometimes it has to do with the dye.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like red yarns, sometimes those are stiffer because of the dye and how it reacts with the yarn.
Yeah.
Kathy says, yes, now I do. I leave mine on the dining room table because I never use it. So I think that was her answer when you asked about mindless.
The diamond painting, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe I'll have to do that then. And if not, I can still give you some tips on plastic canvas because it's been a while, but I did a lot. My aunt used to do it all the time. So she's the one who taught me when I was younger how to do it.
Okay. Nightbot has something weird up. It says Susan Burke, questionable.
Maybe Susan Burke, questionable judgment. Stop spamming, caps warming. Oh, she came in and said, hello, ladies, and it's all in caps.
Oh, way to go, Susan.
She said, sorry, hello, AJ and Robbin. Yeah, I talk to Susan
all the time. She's not questionable.
I will have to look at that setting, Susan. I don't think I've ever looked at an all caps one. I'll have to go back and look at it when it does the mod thing and see what that is. And set, because those are things that you can set the settings on, because like some people will come in and use a ton of emojis and that. And with them on its regular setting, you can't do more than like 3 or 4 of them and it'll kick you out of chat. So you have to adjust that. So I will have to check the I hadn't seen that one come up before. So sorry about that. Kathy says, Ambi, they are so easy and fun to make. I'm assuming that's the diamond paintings. Welcome in, Susan. I'm so sorry Nightbot yelled at you. I will have to go take care of Nightbot.
Put Nightbot in timeout.
Yeah, put Nightbot in its own timeout.
Funny.
Yeah, I haven't seen them do that to anybody on here in a while. I'm like, yay, got all my settings taken care of, and then oh.
Well, so somebody had mentioned the Granny Square Cocoon, and that's all I'm doing with this. I liked the yarn. It's got some little flecks of color in it, a little bit of tweedy look. And Linda Simpson, the knitting lady, she did one of these, and I'm like, oh, I love that. And normally I don't like Granny Squares. I'm not a fan, and too many of them when I was growing up, you know. And Morgan, my little roommate, wanted to learn how to crochet, and I'm like, okay, let's start you on a Granny Square. And I'm like, do you like this cocoon? And she loves the wild colors. I do not. And she's like, oh yeah, this is great. And so she just went to town making herself, and somebody, I don't remember who it was, but they said the simplest thing for a granny cocoon, you just make your big old Granny Square, and you make it however many inches tall you are. So like I'm 56 inches tall. So you do half of that and then add 2 or 3 more inches for a border. And I'm like, oh, I love it. And then you just fold it in half, leave yourself about 6 or 8 inches for your armhole, sew the sides down, and it's done.
Cool.
So I'm like, this is nice and easy something. And I've been wanting one of these for a long time. So I had just finished the shawl. I'm doing the knitting sock class, and I'm failing miserably. I'm for sure, well, I won't get an F, but I'll probably get a D. And I got my homework done last night on that. Class isn't till tomorrow. So I thought I need to start something. So I grabbed this real quick. I said, this is perfect because I have to focus intently on that darn sock. So does anybody want to see my sock fail? It's miserable.
Well, if you want to show it.
Oh, yeah. I have no problem showing how bad I do things. if I can reach it.
I have a friend is sending me some knitting needles, so at some point in time I'm going to learn, but not till next year because I've had too much on my plate for this year.
Well, I know how to knit, knit, purl, very, very simple, basic things. And I've always wanted to make socks. And so when I signed up for this class, I have tons of sock yarn. I'm just going to bring the sock yarn with me, and I'll buy whatever needles they say to use, because I knew you needed the little teeny tiny needles, and I wanted to wait till I was there and get the exact right one. Well, I get there and she doesn't like the yarn I've got because I bought that Premier fruit yarn.
Uh-huh.
And the one I got was watermelon, and it's really pretty and I love it. And she said, you will not be able to see your stitch work with this. And for your first ones, you need a complete neutral so you can see stitch work. I'm like, okay, I'll buy that. So then I went in and bought this beautiful, beautiful lavender.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So pretty. And it's Cascade, and I've always wanted to try Cascade. So I was real happy with that. It's so pretty. And then I thought, okay, here we go. We're going to get the itty bitty needles, because I knew she wasn't going to do double pointed, because I asked. I didn't want to learn on double pointed needles. And she says, no, we're going to do a different thing. We're going to do the magic loop. And I'm like, okay, I've wanted to learn magic loop. I hate magic loop. And it's because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Just like anything, you got to practice. Practice is better.
So class is every Friday. And our first week, and you guys know how slow knitting goes. Unless you know what you're doing, knitting is slow. So our first week, we were supposed to complete the ribbing and the whole leg.
Wow.
Get that done in a week. It's not happening. So
I've watched people who knit for a long time who don't even get that done in a week.
Right. And so, the yarn is beautiful. So on one of my lives, somebody suggested I make a shorty sock. Perfect. Done. So this is my shorty. So there's my rib, a little bit of ribbing, and there's the leg pattern. And I thought, and I compared it to a couple pair of shorty socks I have. That's exactly how big they were. So I'm done. I'll teach you to give me a bunch of homework. But here's why I don't like it. So this is the magic loop. Here's the little magic loop. So you're knitting like this. So here's my one end. Where are we? Here's my one end. And then you scooch part of your project over. And then I'm using the other end here to knit right here. Sounds simple. And my question was, doesn't that pull on the yarn where you're working with it? Oh no, it'll work its way in. Look at this mess. Where is it? There. Can you see that big ladder?
No, you're just a little blurry. For a minute there, I thought we were going to lose you.
There's a great big hole on each. There, you can see it really good there. There.
Oh, no.
It looks awful. And it's on both sides where the edge of the work is. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, which I'm sure is the answer, or she didn't tell us something, because I specifically said, isn't that going to pull? But see how it pulls on that at the edge? I says, isn't going to pull on that and separate? Oh, no. Wrong. So, and I watched a couple YouTube videos, and they all said, you have to be careful for laddering, but nobody ever said how to make it not ladder.
Okay, so, yeah, because I was just going to say, well, maybe you should check out YouTube, but knowing you, I knew you probably already had.
Yeah, so. And that's why I paid for a class, so I had a teacher to tell me these things. But that's the other reason I just did a shorty sock, because I know I'm ripping this all out when it's done, so I can just learn all the different steps.
Well, it looks beautiful from a distance. So
I like the design quite well.
It's a that's pretty design.
And it's just, it's a little chart. And so it's like, this row is all knit. This row is knit, 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 purl, knit, 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 purl. And so that's what gives you the design.
How it goes.
Yeah. So I like it.
Ambi says, yes, my friend Denisha has done one, and I want to ever since she talked about hers. I'd love to see your sock fail. And then Doris Arman says, hi, everyone. Hello, Doris. She says, I'm doing errands, but I wanted to say hi. I am so glad you did. Welcome in. Charity says, that's pretty yarn.
It is.
And Donna, who's Melfina's Matt, she says, LOL, Robbin Shorty Socks are beautiful. And then Nana Crochet, Terry is back. Nana's Crochet Ideas. Robbin, it's probably your tension. You have to pull ends really tight.
Okay.
So, and Terry, to let you know, if you were not lurking, Robbin was talking to you about RVing at the beginning. So if you go back and rewatch anything you may have missed, because we were talking about that at the beginning, and I told her that you were thinking of doing it, and I told her that I also told you to go talk to her. So,
yeah, send me an email. It's Robbin. No, it isn't. It's roamingwithrover3@gmail.com. Send me an email and we'll connect and we can have a conversation. Maybe we can do a little messenger FaceTimey thing or something. I would love to visit with you and give you some tips and tell you some horror stories. I got a lot of horror stories.
well, and maybe sometime if you want, because you did join my group. Maybe sometime if you're up, we do it. I tend to be up later at night, especially, being a pain patient. Sometimes you're up nights, and we're on usually later in the Eastern time. So if you're still on, she said she was lurking, you could always come in and chat with us and crochet sometime if you want to.
Yeah, I'm not a late person. I tend to get up super early. I've had to get up early my whole life. So I'm up at 6 a.m. Pacific. So usually I turn into a pumpkin no later than 10:30. I can usually handle 10.
Well,
so
it's
10,
that specific, right? Well, I'm just saying,
it's your guys' time.
Right, that's late for us.
Okay.
So that I was thinking it may work for you because it would be earlier for you and later for us. Because I have one of my best friends actually lives in Washington State, and she was in California before that. So her and I are always trying to work out the right time to talk and everything. And she always wants me to stay up later, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
At a certain time, it's like, nope, I gotta go to bed now.
My brain quit.
So Terry says, okay, thanks. And Amy wrote down roamingwithrover3@gmail.com.
Thank you.
She put it on there twice. Thank you,
Amy. The first time it was spelled wrong.
Oh, okay. I was looking. I figured probably it had been. But anyway, I love watching when you open up all of your kits, and I love seeing when you show how far you're getting on your Afghans and everything. And I was glad that I watched you because I was getting ready to get a kit, and I'm on such
our budget not worth it.
Is so bad that I was like,
and when I first started buying them, I had more disposable income than I do now, and so I canceled all my crochet of the months and all that stuff. And these kits, I feel like I'm so far into it, I have to finish them, those 2 blankets. And I got the last one of my crochet one the other day. So, and I'm about halfway through the knit one. And I actually set the knit one because, it takes me so much longer to knit. That's the one thing I do like about Annie's is you can put them on hold.
Right.
You can put them on. So when you order like these blanket kits, they send you a chunk every month. And with the striped kits, it's 3 rows. And it ends up being 11 kits. So that's
expensive.
$300 for this thing when you're done, which is insane. And so the crochet ones, at first I was keeping up. And then when we came home, I'm like, I just want it all here. So I'm ready to go. I've got it.
Right.
And you can change the frequency. And so many people were asking them, can I buy it all at once? Can I buy it? And they're like, no, no, no. Well, finally they switched it, and it's just been a few months ago they switched it. So instead of once a month, you could get it twice a month. So I did that with the crochet one just so I could get them all here. And then you can also spread them out farther. So the knit ones I spread out to one every 3 months.
Right. I remember seeing your
it's going to
video
take
when you said
a long
that.
time because I just called them today and I've got like 5 or 6 more to come. So, every 3 months, that's going to be a couple of years. But that way it'll spread that expense out more. And if I get caught up on it, I can always, increase it.
One thing I wanted to let all of you guys know, if you don't know, if you've ever ordered from Annie's, and when you go on there, they also have classes that you can pay for monthly. Let me say hi real quick to Anita. Queen Mama just came in. Hi, ladies. How are you all?
Hey, Queen Mama.
In, Anita. And I joined their classes, and I joined at a time it was like $9.99 a month, and then like not even 2 weeks later they took it down to $5.99. Their customer service is great because they let me have the lower price. And what was funny though is they didn't even know it. It wasn't showing in on the customer service end that they had lowered it. And so the guy opened up the website and he's like, wait a minute, yes, it is lower. He was like, of course you can get it at that price.
Oh, that's
so good. I've been getting it, and it's not something that I go to all the time, but it's really nice because they have like classes that teach you how to fix your crochet if you have something like is wrong. But one of the things that I noticed is on those kits, it's not the kits that they're running right now, but like an older kit that they had before, they have the classes in like 11 classes. So like how you would get each kit, but you can download each of those 11 the patterns to them. You can get your own yarn, and then you can make them that way.
Nice.
So it may be an older one, but they have so much stuff on there though.
So
many things that they may have kits on the channel for and stuff. So if you're a person who likes how a lot of the kits are, but you can't get the pattern for it, because, and I know, that you told people that sometimes they're free, but that's only a few. Most of them you can't find the patterns for, because I've looked so many times.
And for me, it's either Hirschner's or Mary Maxim. It was like 3 in a row. I went and bought the kit, and the next thing I know, the pattern was free on there. And I'm like, so now I look it up every time.
Right. I think that was Mary Maxim. I remember you saying that, because like I found a kit that I want so bad that's in their Christmas kits for Hirschner's. Now I do have to say I have loved Hirschner's kits when I get them. You get plenty of yarn.
Yep.
You get everything you need, and I even have yarn left over lots of times. So I don't mind getting their kits. Some kits I don't like to get from other places because I'm always low on yarn and you can't find it. I think Annie's is one that I wouldn't really want to. I love Annie's.
Yeah.
I know, I'm not saying I don't. I've been with Annie's since they had Annie's Attic magazine.
Yep. I remember that.
I love Annie's. But with their kits, it seems like sometimes they send out yarn that you don't know what it is. So if you need to buy more, it's hard to do.
Yeah. Rarely will you get a yarn in their kits that you can get more of, even if it's something like the It's a Wrap. It's a color that's discontinued,
right?
In the kits. So you can almost never can you get extra yarn for an Annie's kit, and like even their the blanket ones. It's a very, and I'm forgetting, I'm looking around real quick, but it's a very well-known yarn that they use, but the colors they're either named different or they're slightly different shade. So you can't even.
So it's almost like maybe they got Millens or something.
Well, or probably because
sometimes I wonder about that.
It's probably a proprietary name they've added to it, or they've got colors chosen. They use so many of them.
So yeah, I'm not bad mouthing them at all because I love Annie's.
The yarn is beautiful. The kits are beautiful. They're very well made. The instructions are very clear, And when you get those, one of the bonuses, and that's the thing that I have to put in my mind, is when I'm buying the stripes monthly thing or the mandala kit like you're doing, they have a video for every single stitch. Every single row has its own video. Okay, so here's the weird thing that happened to me. Always something weird. I'm doing my knit one and I'm on the third row and I have messed up. And I know I showed it in the video. I can't tell the front from the back. Well, on the second stitch, it didn't say do 12 rows. It said do 2 inches. Well, am I supposed to end on this side or am I supposed to end on this side? Because that makes a difference. And it didn't say anywhere in the instructions. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the video and see exactly what she says. I can't find the video. The video won't come up. I can't find the video. So I contact customer service. I'm like, the video for 3, 4, and 5 is there, but the video for 1, 2, and 3 isn't. And she says, we don't have any record that you bought 1, 2, and 3. I have it.
How do you have it in your hand?
I have it in my little hand. And I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why would I get those and not 1? She says, we don't have any record that you bought 1, so you don't have access to the videos. Well, how do I get access? You buy it. Why would I buy it again when I already have it? So I can't get access to the one video that I have a question.
So they didn't end up, I would call back another day and talk to somebody else.
I've already done a workaround. So, recently how they're doing all of their kits, you buy for free and just pay postage.
Right.
I bought kit 1.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Now I've got a little extra yarn.
I was in my head, I'm going, wait a minute. Maybe,
but how ridiculous
because
is that?
I don't get the free ones a lot. I get the half off or, whatever. But that makes it's understandable then why the classes that I pay for every month, that they will show up there later, because once they're done with that kit, they already have the videos. So all they have to do is put it on there.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing the Mandela one.
Oh.
They have an older Mandela one on there. I like the new one. So I'm waiting and hoping that one shows up like maybe within the next year or so, because I really like to do that one. And if not, I'll just do the one that they have on there, and they already show it in neutral colors. And I was thinking of doing it for my daughter. So I would have to do it like in black and gray or black and cream. Her favorite color is black. So I had to learn how to work with black yarn a long time ago.
As long as you've got good light, that's really the key. Is you have to have good light, and maybe
I have one of those shoulder lights too, so it shines.
And maybe
on
some
it.
What I'm trying to say, the stitch you choose is not too intricate. With my crochet one, the only stitch that I went and looked at their videos was the star stitch, because I could not figure out where I needed to put my needle for that very first.
Right.
And it made all the difference. I tore that thing out so many times. Finally, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll go look at the video.
Yeah, that's what they're for. Maybe I should go do that.
That's the reason I convinced myself to buy this dang thing. But
So yeah, I love hearing you talk about the kits and stuff. Now, the one kit that I will buy from them, if I buy any, are the amigurumi kits, because there's usually always enough yarn in there, if not more. So, or if one is a good price, I was just telling my husband this morning too, because he thinks, like most of the husbands and stuff, you pay too much money on yarn, and you're not looking for good sales, which he should know by now. My mom taught me sales.
Yeah.
He just sees, when the yarn comes in, which this year I am on a freeze unless it's something that I'm making as a gift for somebody and I don't have the right yarn, or somebody orders from me and I don't have the right yarn. I did for the tester top I was doing. I had to order some more because I ended up not having enough from what she said that we needed. But sometimes I will go and see what kits they have on sale. And especially when they get down to at least half off or lower, and I look at the pattern really good. And if you can find the free pattern, that's even better, because you can see how much yarn is needed in it. And then sometimes I buy the kits for the yarn. So
here's the other thing.
You can yarn at a cheaper price when you buy the kits when they're on sale.
Yes. And I have called customer service and said, how many balls of yarn come in that kit? Because I want to make sure, because I crochet big and I want to make sure there's going to be enough. And they'll tell you exactly how much yarn you need.
Okay, well, that's good
I
to
did
know.
that with
Because
this kit, not this one, because I had this exact yarn in my house and I didn't know how much I was going to need for this kit.
Oh, I love that yarn. I remember you showing that.
And I ended up, I couldn't figure, I was trying to figure out the pattern just by looking at it. And the only thing I could not figure out was how many I needed to cast on. And so then when the kit went on sale and I had a coupon and there goes my, nope, I'm back. The camera just gave up on me for a second.
Yeah, a couple of times tonight when you're talking, it's gotten really slow. So we didn't hear what you said. So you said when I have a kit and when I have a coupon, and then we heard nothing else.
So it was on sale and I had a coupon and I had free shipping. So I went ahead and ordered it. And then if I run low on yarn, I do have some of that yarn here already.
All right. They had free shipping. What was it, last weekend they did free shipping?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I caught them with free shipping. And I didn't go on looking for yarn. I went on looking for like tools and stuff. Now, one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if maybe they're getting ready to revamp and get new stuff, or if they couldn't get things due to COVID, but they do not have a lot of tools and stuff.
Right.
And they used to have a pretty decent supply. I know I got some of my hooks that I couldn't find other places there, but now they have like hardly anything.
Yeah.
But I was able to get, which I'll be doing a video to show, but I got some of the tape measures that I've been wanting to get, because I was like, okay, I don't mind paying the price for the tape measure if I don't have to pay shipping,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Being that I can't drive and go places and get myself to, like for the Hobby Lobby clearance and stuff, unless somebody takes pity on me. But since is my year to just use my stash, I told them, I said, I've also learned one thing I have learned for myself, for as much as I love yarn, that yes, I see yarn, I love it, I want to get it, but no matter what, when I absolutely need something new and when I'm ready, there will always be something new and something pretty out there. So if I miss the one yarn I have to have right now, it's not going to kill me to say,
well, and they come out with new colors and new styles, and they got the summer yarns and they got the winter yarns, and
but I do have to say, if they have cottons and bamboo and stuff like that on sale, I like to try to take advantage of it, because I like working with natural fibers more than I do. And plus my daughter, on top of black being her favorite color, she's vegan, so I can only use acrylics and natural fibers for her. So Ambi had left and back. She said, I never buy kits, don't think I ever have. Chris Kaleidoscope is in here, says hi all, welcome in, Chris. Doris says, I've never bought kits, we just don't have any extra for that stuff. Ambi says hello at Chris and hello at Doris. Yes, I understand that. I don't either, and everybody knows I'm on a very, very strict budget. But if I find a kit that they've had for a while and they're trying to get rid of it and they put it in clearance, and so it's a kit that was normally $50, sometimes you can get it for $15 or cheaper. I'll jump on that, especially if I know it's got like 5 balls of yarn in it. And even if it's Hirschner's yarn, because I love Hirschner's yarn.
I love Hirschner's yarn. I like the Mary Maxim yarn. I have gotten kits for, I guess they're for baby blankets, just for the yarn, because it was cheaper to buy the kit than to buy the yarn
separately. It is to buy the yarn separately. See, and I had wanted Bloom yarn, and I wanted it.
I did the same thing.
I have a couple skeins. Now, they had a baby kit on sale. I missed it while it was on sale, so I'm waiting for them to bring it on sale again at the same price, because I priced it out, and it was so much cheaper to get that kit on sale than to get all the yarn. And when it comes to the Bloom yarn, most of those patterns you can get for free. You
Yeah.
may not find them on Hirschner's, and you may not find them on Mary Maxim, but if
Premier.
you go to Premier's website,
Mhm.
you can find them there for free.
Mhm.
So,
or a different pattern.
right,
You know,
or a
for you
different
all.
pattern
Yeah.
that looks, close to it.
Mhm.
But a lot of them that they have kits for, they have those patterns for free, because I found them
Mhm.
when I was looking and to try to see how many balls were in
Yep.
there, and then try to figure out if it would be, a better deal or not. And especially the ones where they have the striping and they use the different colors, because that's what
Mhm.
I wanted, was the different colors. And I was just like, oh, that would be perfect. But then like I said, I missed the sale, and I haven't found a good sale like that one was again. So
Right.
I keep looking, but I
Mhm.
don't right now this year, since I'm in my not adding to my stash,
Mhm.
which of course my friend has found a way around, because if she sends it to me, it's not like
Right. It doesn't count.
I'm doing it myself.
No,
But
absolutely doesn't count.
my husband keeps joking, I'm going to have a bonfire. It's like, no, you're not.
No.
And yarn doesn't really burn that well. So,
No. It just kind of melts and crinkles off.
yeah, but especially if it's acrylic. Anyway, I'm not looking at the ads as much this year.
Right.
Whereas before, if I'd see,
Not even
oh, there's a sale, I'd be like, oh, I have to go look. Like I just had to for the Christmas one, because I've been wanting to get Christmas colors. And by the time I save enough to actually get them, they're usually gone.
gone.
So I've
Right.
learned that
Yeah.
if you don't get them in July when they first come out with them,
No.
that you may not get
Mhm.
them later on if you want them.
I find them on sale. February and March is the best time to buy the
Right,
Christmas.
actually, July is actually starting to run too late.
Yeah. That's when they're bringing out. It's time to get ready for Christmas.
Well, see, I wish they did things the way they did when I was younger. And when I was younger, and people on my channels have heard me say this, but in the summertime, you were getting winter yarns.
Mm-hmm.
In the springtime, you were getting fall. I'm going backwards. So in the winter, you were getting summertime, and then in the fall, you were getting spring.
Yeah.
And that way, you could make
You had time.
those objects during those months, and then by the time spring got here, you had something nice to wear for spring.
Mm-hmm.
If you were making something for yourself to wear, not like now where the magazines and everything run per what season you're in. They used to run opposite. I know Annie's Attic was that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other earlier ones that I had, if I go back and look at them, and I'm like going, oh, this was the Christmas, and then you look, oh no, that was like, June. So yeah, I like how they did that, because it was just nicer. I think
Mm-hmm.
it makes it easier for you to get in the mindset of, okay, I need to start making for Christmas now, because
Right.
if I wait until the fall time, I may not have enough time.
Yeah. And this shawl that I just finished, I don't think you can see. There's a corner.
No,
Pull
just
it
the
all-
corner.
but it's sparkly. It's a gray sparkle, silver sparkle yarn, and the blue is a sparkle. And when I started it about a month ago, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to find sparkle yarn. And it's just Big Twist Twinkle, and they had it.
Oh,
right
I
there.
love Big Twist Twinkle.
I'd never seen it before. And Darla, that was the exact yarn she used in that shawl. And I'm like, I need this. And it's a Christmas present. So I've got that finished, because the other Christmas present I made for her, I know I'm not going to have finished. But it's very generic. So we draw names, my girlfriends. And so whoever I get next year will get the Christmas blanket. And it's fine. They're used to me taking forever to finish anything. And but I was real surprised to be able to find the twinkle yarn, and I lucked out. It was was I here? We were here, so it must have been late April, and I hit Joann's. I went in, looked. Well, it's when I went in to get that twinkle yarn, and because I wanted to take that on when we were on vacation, I wanted to work with that, and so they were clearancing a ton of Christmas big twist stuff I'd never seen. It was cake and $2 a piece.
Wow. See, that's where I wish I could drive, and I wish I could go, because even when they put their clearance yarns on their sites, it's never as
It's
good of
never
a
any
price that they go down
Yeah.
into in the stores.
Mhm.
And I would have loved that because I wanted some of their Christmas yarn. I just couldn't afford to go get it
Yeah.
at the time. So,
And
but
I didn't have any Christmas yarn, not one bit. So I bought that, and then I bought that little package thing I was telling you from Hirschner's. And that's the only Christmas yarn I have.
we'll see. My husband took me in once. The other thing that I don't quite like about Joann's, but I was kind of glad that I had to go into the store after I got there, is when you earn rewards, even though you earn them online, you have to go into the store to use them. But it ended up being nice all around because I had other coupons and the woman stacked them all for me. And you can't stack like that when you're online
Nope, not
either.
online.
But that's when I got my big twist twinkle because they have it all year round. They're
Yeah, and I
regular,
didn't know that.
they have all year round. And I didn't know that because I thought they had clearanced it out like last January, I want to
Mhm.
say. So I thought, oh, there's no way. They
There's
have
no
it
way
on
you
the
didn't, yeah.
website for like $1.99 for the big ones. And I
Mhm.
got what I could then. But I went in and they had them, they were like half off. And I had my reward. And then I had these other coupons. So I had to spend, I think, like $20 in yarn to use everything that I had. And I wasn't sure what I was going to get. Well, I've been wanting to make new Christmas stockings for a while. And I
Mhm.
didn't have the right colors for everybody. Now I do. Now I'm not sure. I was hoping to get them done for this year. They may not be done for this year. They may be for next year. But I have all my twinkle yarns that I need because I needed red. And I think that was the only one I needed was the red. But I know now that if I run out or use the other ones, because I have some that'll look different, it won't, look as cohesive, but it came from
Mhm.
Premier when they had their clearance last year, and it was like 3 of them in a package for $5. And I should have gotten way more when I first saw it, but I didn't. And they ran out of red like really, really quick.
Oh,
And then
really
they had
fast.
this beautiful blue color that I didn't get, but my best friend, she sent me some. She was like, here. I was like, oh, thank you. So she sent me one of them, which they're big enough that you can get a nice project out of. Just
Mhm. Well, this used 2.5 of the gray, and I only did 2 rows of the blue, so it barely touched the blue.
Mhm.
Or did I use 3? No, 2.5. 2.5 of the gray. And if it were for me, I would have made it wider and longer, so I would have used all of the gray. But the gal I'm making it for is a little bitty thing, and so I made it a little shorter.
Yeah, I tend to, when I make things, I like to use at least more than one color. So I figure if I have just one skein of something, I can find something else to match it with,
Mhm.
then I can have enough for what I need.
Right.
So, Chris Kaleidoscope says they are running mags for fast fashion.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know quite what you're saying. Maybe but I know, like, I get the Crochet Foundry magazine.
Oh, do you get that?
Yeah, I love it. Well, when they first brought it out, especially because it was from designers, it was a magazine that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
Now Furls has taken it over,
Yeah.
but it's still all designers who I've been
Yeah.
following their blogs for longer than I knew, have been on
Mhm.
YouTube. So it's all designers that I follow and that I love. So yes, I get them. And usually if I find something I want to make, I'm like, okay, no, I can't make that this year. I'll make it next year. And some of them make just some really simple garments because I have only made 2 real garments so far. So, I'm still learning as I go.
Mhm.
And I'd rather have it be people that I know that if you email them to, that they'll get back to you and answer your
Oh.
questions. Maybe not all of them, but some of them
Mhm.
I know do because I've emailed them on some things that have been on their website. So I feel comfortable buying their magazine. Now, I don't like they've gone down to a monthly magazine now.
Mhm.
I liked it much better when it was every 4 months,
Mm.
because for me, that's more affordable than
Yeah.
even though they put the price down, it's still more affordable for me to get it every 4 months than every month. So I may not be able to get every month, but I always, I look through to see what's in there and if I'm even halfway interested. And plus, since I'm doing crochet, trying to make money by crocheting for others, making gifts and things, sometimes they want garments. And before I was like, no, I just do the smaller stuff. But now since I've actually made some, I'm like, okay, I could probably, if I find something simple, or something easier to make, I could do that. And I feel like I can make their stuff more than like when I get my Crochet World, more than some of the patterns that I find in there.
Yeah, I find the Crochet World, and I do enjoy it. I'm glad I get it.
Well, I love Crochet World versus crochet, and I guess I should have said crochet, because crochet seems to have more garments in it, and Crochet World seems to have a mixture of garments and household.
Yes, it's a lot. It's simple little stuff and nice big projects. I do.
So, but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say I like the Crochet World because of the variety of things they have in there, simple stuff. And the one thing I find, and I don't think it's Crochet World so much as I've seen a couple of books of mags come out that I've actually bought, and then it'll go up to a size extra large or a size large. I'm like, give me a break. In this day and age,
yep,
we need some bigger sizes.
They do that a lot, and I don't like that. But I've also been starting to learn how to make it larger for myself.
But I shouldn't have to. If I'm buying a pattern, or say right there in the front, this pattern goes up to size such and such. Because I have bought patterns before, and I don't find out till after I've bought them online, and I don't find out till after I've opened it that it only goes up to a smaller size.
I've gotten to the point where I will not I will not purchase a pattern.
Right, if I can't tell.
If I can't tell what size it goes up to, at least has to go up to a 3X.
Yeah. So,
but more people are getting into doing up to size 5X.
5X seems to be the top end now. They'll go to extra small to 5X. And I do also understand, I know that's a lot of work for pattern designers. And I also know that not every pattern is conducive to that. Right. But as long as they say it out front, then I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't some, or I'm looking for someone else, and then I'm fine with it being, the smaller. But the problem is, and sizing has gotten so strange. So my daughter, who is not, I would not consider her a plus size at all, but she's got the boobage. And so we got to make stuff bigger to accommodate the girls.
Take care of the girls.
And she doesn't like things that are tight. She wants it kind of loose and flowy. So I end up making things a couple sizes bigger than what she would normally wear to accommodate. I think a lot of the crochet patterns run small. And so I'm often looking at one size bigger when I'm looking at
those. But also sometimes it depends on the designer, because and it depends on where they're getting their stuff from. Like the one that I just did, and I'm not going to say who the designer was or anything, the tester pattern that I just did, she tends to crochet tight. So you always have to make sure that you follow gauge.
Yeah.
People out there who don't do gauge, especially when it comes to garments, you have
to do gauge on garments. That's just part of the deal. You have to do gauge on garments.
Because we had people who were testing who were not doing gauge. And they're like, oh, this is coming out really wonky, blah, 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 blah. And in the tester group, I'm like, well, did you check your gauge? Oh, didn't even think about that. What do you mean you didn't think about that? It's even in the directions.
Yeah.
Check your gauge, But everybody was coming up with all different things. Like mine was big, and my gauge was on. I kept checking it. So we don't know exactly why it was off so much. But everything that was from like a size large and bigger was coming up short. And it's because she was following, which is where I would send people as a tech editor, the Yarn Council, their measurements. But sometimes there are other places, like and I can't tell you where to go, what they are right now, but I have a book that has them all listed in it, from my tech editing class. Sometimes you have to look at a couple of them and find a size like in between, or they just need to write in their pattern. You may need to add a couple more rows. Make sure you check what size I have, on the schematic or whatever. Make sure you measure yourself. And they don't say that, often enough for people. They just think, oh, if I make it, I'll be getting the right size. Measure yourself, check it against the sizes. And
Check
if
it
it's not
while
long
you're
enough, and
making
if
it.
it's being made bottom up, make sure you add a couple more rows to get, the size that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris says making progress. Oh no, wait a minute. Fast fashion is crocheters and sweatshops making stuff for cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they have. I don't know if magazines geared towards that. But maybe. I just know that they've changed the seasons around, and I don't know when that happened and why it happened. My thought would be maybe somebody came in to run a magazine who didn't crochet
Yeah,
or
picking out the background.
and they just changed things, and then everybody was like, oh well, if they're changing it, how
Mhm.
everybody tends to get on the bandwagon.
Mhm.
That's my personal thought of how that all changed, but I could be wrong. I am many times. So
Yeah, you and me both. Hey, everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you go and do thumbs up for AJ. We got to get her thumbs up on there.
okay, thank you. I don't even think about that. I don't ask. It's one thing. I just try to be natural. I don't ask for all of that, so I don't even think about it. So thank you very
I
much.
try to for other people. I don't usually for me. I try to for other people.
Yeah, and I do as well. And if I'm in the chatting, on a live or something, I try to ask. And I do think I have Nightbot set up to ask for them, but that's the one that's like set up to go not as much as the others.
Mhm.
So there's got to be a lot of chat before that one comes out.
A men's sleep shirt. Oh, Chris, I'm intrigued. I know what a sleep shirt is, but it reminds me of what's that? The Christmas Carol where he's running around in the long.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the only thing that comes to mind when I
It
think of a sleep shirt.
It intrigues me because I've never seen like a men's, because it makes me think of more of a button-up top too.
Oh yeah.
So, and I've never seen like sleep shirts done in crochet for
Bamboo
men or
cotton.
women for that matter.
That's going to be so soft. That's going to take a lot of bamboo cotton. Wow.
That's something that you need to find when, in Canada, well, right now with how postage is, probably not. But back before COVID, I had taken advantage of one of the tent sales.
Yes.
And I had gotten, like 12 of the small balls of bamboo at a really decent price.
Uh-huh.
Normally I think they were normally like $5 a piece, and I think they had them for $1.50 or something like
Nice.
that. So I jumped on it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And even with the postage, I had gotten a mega ball too, because they had mega balls in there. And then I had gotten something else that we weren't sure what it was, but they were selling it at like 50 cents a ball, and it was a 5-bag. So I jumped on it, and it's enough for me that I can make myself a summer top, or I can make like a tank top with it. So, and I have one picked out for the color that I got. I haven't had a chance to make it because right now the only time that I'm getting any garments for me is if I'm doing them as a tester crochet.
Yeah.
So then I've got to go through my other yarn to try and find.
Yeah. When I committed to Darla that I would make that top, she let me name it on her when she was on my live the other day, and she was showing off her new pattern. And so I committed to making it because we actually ended up naming it my first top. She said it's so easy to make, and it's a raglan design. And so she said you try it on as you go. When you get as wide as you want, then you go down. I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Well, she was using a Karen cotton cake.
Uh-huh.
I know. Was he in the bedroom? I hear him bouncing around.
Chris wants to know what we're working on. I'm working on a baby blanket.
Max goes into Miss Morgan's room and steals the cat toys.
Chris is asking what you and I are both working on. So
I'm working on. I just literally started this 2 minutes before the show started tonight, and it's gonna be just a granny square cocoon. So it's just one great big granny square that I'll fold in half and sew up the sleeves. Cocoon sweater, and then normally I would have Diet Pepsi in my cup. But after my meeting today, we ran through Jack in the Box, and we were both so thirsty because it's warmer today. We got some iced tea.
I wish we had a Jack in the Box here. Oh,
yeah, I like their iced tea a lot. And there's a
I've
few
been there once.
Not good. And then so I knew I had gotten some of this on a clearance from Hirschner's, or it might have been Lion Brand. Now that I think about it,
I got some of those in a Lion Brand Santa Sack.
Santa Sack, yeah. I bought a bunch of this. It was on for $2. And
oh my goodness.
When I opened it, they had 3 colors, and by the time I got it in my bag, this is the only color they had left. So
okay,
I want to say it's so pretty though.
More.
Yeah, I really, really like this. It's called Chai Latte. And so I thought that would be pretty to make that sweater out of. That'd be a pretty summer sweater. And
that would be gorgeous.
And it's 50-50 cotton poly. So I think it's going to work up just fine.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's I looked at those for the tester top that I had, but I didn't have enough of like one color.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going with the Cotton Angel cake.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also found my Lion Brand Funfetti.
Oh, that's pretty.
And so I was doing like the base color from the Karen Angel cake and then adding the Funfetti at the top. Mm-hmm. And it looked gorgeous. I can't wait to actually have now with the right directions. I mean, that's the whole reason why you test though.
Right.
That's why they have people test, because you never know if it's going to come out right or not. Mm-hmm. And as a tester, you may end up having to take it out and redo it.
Sure.
So,
but she gave you plenty of time to do it too.
Right.
The one and only time I've tested a pattern, I did it for Connie. Just another stitch. And it was so funny. She's like, I'm like, I could try and test it. I'm not a very good knitter. She's like, no, that's perfect, because then I could see if somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience. Well, then I found out it's like you're using 3 different colors of yarn and you're carrying it in the back and you're doing all these processes that if I'd have known better, I'd have known I had no business doing. And it was so fun. And she says, well, how much time do you need? And I go, oh, maybe like 3 weeks. And she goes, 3 weeks? And I go, well, yeah, how much time did she goes, I would expect no more than a week. And I'm like, well, it's going to take me longer. So if you don't want me to do it, that's fine. She's like, no, do the best you can. I got that thing done in about a week and a half. I was so proud of myself. And
it looked nice too. I remember.
It did. It looked really cute. But you notice I never showed it on me because it like sat on top of my head like about this. So I just assumed I did something wrong. And I know I made it way too tight. And I learned after the fact that you really got to stretch those out when you're carrying the yarn, or it pulls it in tight. And would you give me a Pepsi before you sit down? I'm almost done with the tea. And so
ice? Need ice?
No, just a can. And so I did learn some things from doing that as a tester. I really enjoyed the process.
Yeah. I try to test as often as I can, but like once I get the it's not a tester. Once I get the sample crochet done this year, I probably won't offer to for any more this year, because it's going to be time for me to be getting Christmas gifts done. And if anybody orders, and stuff like that. So I have to really concentrate, and I have whips that I need to get done. I don't know how many baby blankets I have started that need to get done. It's been a while, some of the kids are already 4 or 5, it's like, But I make them bigger. I don't make small baby blankets. I tend to make, larger
I like them
ones.
bigger. I like them bigger.
So,
I
You
know.
make a Pepsi run.
I know. I'm almost out.
but
Um,
what was I going to tell you? Oh, when you're talking about a blog, if you're still interested in having one sometime, I know I can't make mine from scratch. And I used to have the brain where I could, but with everything going on with me physically and, health wise, I just can't. So I have a friend who's going to come over and help me get mine up and running, my website, my blog.
I would like help with the website.
If I learn some tips and think that I can help somebody, I'll let you know. If not, if he does it all and I can't figure out what he did, then, but if I learn something, I will definitely let you know. But I noticed the time. It is 10 o'clock. We have been on here
goodness, for 2 hours.
Almost the full 2 hours, except for we were late. And I couldn't believe it when I looked at it just a couple minutes ago. I was like, really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So,
because I know. I got to tell you, just like this last week, I'm feeling so much better and so much more like my normal self. I couldn't have gone an hour and a half when the one that I missed. And I know I told you, I said an hour and a half is my absolute max. I could not have gone a minute, and even an hour and 15, I start getting fumbly. But I have felt perfectly fine tonight, or I would have told you sooner that I needed to get off.
right. Well, see, and I was thinking, oh, come an hour, I'm going to be ready to get off because of how I've been feeling. Because I have, and the reason why I'm thinking that maybe it's coming is I have this sore throat.
It's like that's what started with me.
It's not actually a sore throat yet. It's hanging on in the background. It's just scratchy.
It's like, I'm coming to get you, my little.
Yes. And it'll flare up a little bit, and then it'll act like it's not there, and then it's like, oh, okay, you're thinking I'm not here. Time to start scratching. I'm still here. So yeah, that's what's worrying me. Because normally, if I have one and it's just because the air conditioner, it'll come for like a day and then it'll be gone. And like when I got the flu last August, I really thought that was the air conditioner. And when it kept hanging on, and then I got the flu, it was like, okay. So if you don't see me for a couple days in the near future, just know I got it. And I don't have a community tab, but my friends will know. So if they see, and if I happen not to be on AKA or, whatever, I will try to do what I can, since it's from home. But I also know that if it's like when I had the flu, I will be flat out and won't be doing anything for a while.
Well, and you need to focus on yourself and rest and do what you need to do to get better. Otherwise, it's just going to hang on longer and longer and longer.
And that's also why I don't have a schedule on I don't have scheduled days. I don't have with Wednesday. I don't do any of those things yet because I don't want to make people upset if I miss. I do not have a schedule at all. When I can get on, I get on. I do my flip throughs and things. Sometimes it may be after everybody else has done their flip throughs or their magazines, like I have one to do. It's going to be an older one because they didn't send me the magazine on time and I had to call them and say, hey, I didn't get that one.
Well, and when you had said that, that's when I realized I never got my previous one. And I never did get it. So I need to call them. Again, we're talking about Annie's here. So I need to call them and find out. I'm like, I'm missing one.
Well, I went to the actual, since it's a subscription, I went to the page where you can pay for your subscriptions. And I got the customer number on there. Okay. And I can't remember. I don't think it's the same as the regular Annie's one. It could be. I could be wrong. But I know I talked to somebody from the actual
the magazine people.
Magazine side. Because at first she thought she wasn't going to be able. She's like, I can't believe this. Because it was one from not too long. It was it June's that I didn't get?
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't find it. I don't see where it's available. I'm like, well, I know I could go on Annie's and buy it. She said, yeah, I know that we're affiliated with them. She said, but our stock that we keep back to send people if they didn't get it, is different. And it showed they had sent it to me, but I just figured it was because a a block or two over, there's another street, and they have the exact same house number as ours.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of times, and one of the postmasters that I had gotten, not the master, but our
Right.
delivery person, who I'd gotten to know, who doesn't deliver anymore, he told me that when they separate their mail in the morning, their box is like right on top of ours,
Oh,
or vice versa, or ours is right on top of theirs. So sometimes it's just very easy for them to just see,
the main number.
numbers and not realize, oh, I got the wrong street.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, when it comes to magazines, if you don't put on there delivered the wrong address or hand it to the postman directly, they'll just let it sit there.
Yeah.
So, and I think these people, when they get our stuff, they just either toss it or keep it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many times I've sent their stuff back to them and we haven't seen anything come through here, that they've written, delivered wrong or, whatever. And there was one time that the post office, because it was a package, and they delivered one of 3 packages here, and then the other 2 were delivered somewhere else, like half an hour later. And I had to actually call the actual postmaster, because the person at the post office where they deliver for our house, because we have a couple different post office here, they were like, oh no, you should have gotten it. Somebody stole it off of your porch. I'm like, I hear when they put the mail in the box, I get up right away,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and there was one. Why would I say 2, or, why would they take 2 and not all 3?
And not the third one. Yeah.
And they were small enough for all of them to go into the mailbox itself.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm like, they should have grabbed all 3, not just 2.
Mm-hmm.
And when I called the actual postmaster, she was like, no, there's no way. And they led me to believe that when they looked at their GPS markings and stuff, because they can see where packages are delivered,
Oh, really?
that it's like it shows you the general place, but not like close enough to the house.
Uh-huh.
The secretary to the postmaster, she was like, no, I can see it was on the wrong road. They delivered it to the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually had to write them a thing saying, we delivered, it was a misdelivery, and we are picking it up tomorrow, so please have it ready. And it was kind of funny because the one came back intact, and I think that one had yarn in it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one had bottles of skin stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lady that she's the developer of skin products, that she was going to do direct sales business, and then she didn't, but I buy my stuff from her, and then I can, send people there and get, like if it's using an affiliate link.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it's all natural. She uses all natural products. I love everything so far that she's made. And if I don't, then I just go somewhere to find that product. But so far, I've loved everything she's ever sent me. But it was a bag of stuff that I had ordered from her for Christmas. And like 4 things were missing from it. So because you could tell they opened the bag and they taped it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I hope you liked her products, and you go and order from her.
Yeah.
So, oh, it looks like Amber,
Hey, Amber.
just got here. I've been playing with my new knitting machine. Oh, I'm so jelly. I want a knitting machine.
I still just say good morning to mine every day when I get up. Hi, knitting machine.
Welcome in, but we were just
You almost missed
ready
us.
to leave. You almost missed us, but I had, me, I got to talk. Just one more minute. If anybody has a question that they want to ask really quick, because I try to give them time to ask questions. I didn't even do that today. So if anybody has one question, we can answer one question. So I'll wait a couple minutes, see if anything comes up. And if not, we will say our goodbyes. And it was so great having you here.
Thank you. Finally.
Yes. Just hang in the room for a minute, because there is something else that I wanted to tell you. This has been wonderful.
So nice.
I'm so glad that we finally got you. I can't wait for us to set up a time for me to come on yours, which is now probably going to have to wait a little bit. But I know you're ahead on your scheduling anyway.
Yeah, I try to stay about 6 weeks ahead.
I'm going to have to go watch Amber. haven't been able to catch up. I'm like, I want to say 3 episodes behind and see her knitting machine because I'm sure she's shown it if she's been playing
I
with it.
know. No, I'm excited. Good. I'm glad you're getting it figured out, Amber, so then you can show me because you know how well I am with new machines.
I want one, but then, I'm like, it would be nice, but there are so many other things that I need. My daughter
Mhm.
always asks me for my wish list, and those are on there, and they're also so expensive.
Well,
I know
and
they're starting to come down in price at some
Mhm.
places.
The only reason I got one was because I managed to hit, I think it's either Hobie or Hobium. Um, they'll have a 50% off everything on their site.
Oh,
And I
wow.
hit that 3 or 4 times and it was always sold out. And I saw that and I opened it up and they still had one. And I told Mister, I'm like, honey, this is really expensive, but it's half off. And I've never been able to catch one. Can this be my Christmas, birthday, everything present? And he said, yes, just get it. And so I did get it. But I never would have gotten one if I didn't get it half off.
I know there's a site, and I always forget what it is, and I have it saved, but I'd have to find it. That Bag O' Day has said, go look here because she'd found it cheaper there,
Mhm.
but still it goes, it goes up and
Well,
down.
and the
And
second she mentions it, it's gone.
right. You can't get anything she mentions. Oh,
Mhm.
yes, it still shows it on sale. Like if I've been somewhere and I know it's on sale and I want to get it, but I have to wait because I got to pay bills and I got to know how
Mhm.
much money I have, or it's almost the beginning of the month when my husband gives me money to pay bills
Mhm.
and I can take out of a little bit. I'm like, okay, just waiting. And then it never fails that either she tells people it's on sale or Cinnamon Stitches does. And
Yeah.
as soon as one of the
Gone.
two
They're
mentions
gone.
it, forget it.
Mhm.
There's no sense
Gone,
even
gone.
going back to look.
Right. Right.
And when it's something that I've really been, I'm like, really? Did you have to be in my mind and mention that item? Really? But it is what it is. Either you can get it, or, as my husband says, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You'll get
Mhm.
it when you're supposed to get it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so I got to dig that out. In fact, Mister was just asking me today because I'm knitting these socks. He's like, that seems like a lot of work. You can buy socks in the store, right? And he goes, what about that fancy knitting machine? Can't you make socks on that? And I said, as a matter of fact, you can, but that means I have to buy another one because it's a different size.
yeah, I was going to say it has to be the small one if you got the
Mhm.
small one.
So do you want me to buy another one? No, I didn't
Amber
think
says she didn't get the Addy, she got the Centro.
the central. The centrals are supposed to be very, very good. And
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
know.
I would have got a Centro if I hadn't got my Addie King for half off. I
Right,
never ever would have purchased it otherwise.
right. And I know Becca Day says she's got both, and she said her
Hmm.
Centro's nice. It's just every once in a while it might skip a.
Yeah, and it depends. The funny thing, they're so particular. They're so picky. And I know the Centrals like some yarns that the Addie doesn't like, and the Addie likes some yarns that the Central doesn't like. And
Right,
it's even, I have even seen the same yarn in different colors it won't take.
right.
But
It
when you're working with it, you can feel the difference.
Right. It always surprises me how much yarn she's gotten to work in hers that say this shouldn't work or that shouldn't work.
Hmm.
I mean, she's gotten some bulkies to work, and
I
the
would never
machines
put a
say
bulky
that you
together.
can't, use a bulky. So,
Hmm. And I
okay,
did ask somebody once what I know fours is the main thing you can use, and a five is a stretch. But I'm wondering, can you use threes in it?
I think you can, but I'm not positive on that. I
Hmm.
do know that I started saving some. I'll have to look. I started saving some patterns that somebody was doing at one point in time for the knitting machines.
Hmm.
And I'll have to look and see who that is because she may actually have on her blog like different, how to get started or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll have to look into that for you and let you know.
I think
Uh,
it's so funny they call them recipes instead of patterns.
yes. Kathy said it was fun, ladies. Hope you stay well. AJ, thank you, Kathy. If you're still even here to hear that. Dora said it's been lovely popping in. There are no questions coming up,
Okay.
so let's just call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it so much, and for all the new people who have joined my channel. my channel is family, and you'll get to know that. You are all my family, and I care about each and every one of you. So with that said, I will end this like I normally do my regulars. I don't always do it on the lives, but please remember, you matter no matter what. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, you think nobody else out there cares, we do. You matter, and you matter to me. So send me an email, whatever. If you're having a bad day, I will answer you. And please always remember, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, and you're handsome. For all of you guys out there, whichever you identify with, you are. Because I spent too many years of my life thinking I was not. And it took my daughter to help me. And now I just love to tell everybody, you're beautiful. And just please remember that. So.
Me too.
Thank you. Nana says, Terry says, I've used 3 on both my Addy and Centro.
Good to know. Good to know.
Dinky Crafts Jennifer says, hey everyone, sorry for not chatting. I'm reading in bed. That is fine. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for listening.
With that, good night, everybody, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Okay. See you for Monday Night Bingo. Bye-bye.
Bye.